G'day everyone, my name's Si and I'm addicted to barbecue. And today we're going to cook some delicious lamb ribs on the new Weber SmokeFire. So we've got our ribs straight from our butcher. They've been trimmed up pretty much ready to cook. We're going to leave that layer of fat that's on there because it's going to insulate the meat, render down and give it that classic lamb taste. So we're going to start by making our own rub. By mixing together 1 3/4 teaspoon sea salt, a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, 1 3/4 teaspoon brown sugar, a teaspoon of ground coriander, a teaspoon of dried chili flakes, a teaspoon dried rosemary leaves, a teaspoon of dried oregano leaves, and 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. If this recipe is too much in the too hard basket, you can always use one of the great lamb rubs that's already on the market. So before we apply our rub, I personally like to add a nice little glug of olive oil. I find it helps binding the rub to your meat. It also gives a nice subtle olive oil flavour and can also help crisp things along. Do you notice how cool that looked with the rosemary? I don't know if it does anything. Look cool. Next, it's just as simple as sprinkling your rub on top, followed by a good massage. So we're going to put these in the smoker now, cooking between 275 and 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to up the temp just a little bit because these racks are a little bit on the slender side and they're going to cook a little bit quicker. So now that our lamb ribs are well and truly on the way, we're going to make up a cheats version of a chimichurri. I just find it complements the lamb really well and just gives it a bit more extra tang than a traditional sweet glaze. So the ingredients for our chimichurri, we're going to start with a nice packed cup of continental parsley, 2 to 3 fresh cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and also a teaspoon of chili flakes. My take on this recipe is just to add about 1/4 cup of fresh chopped coriander. I also like to add the juice of a lemon to add a bit of punch. So after about 3 hours, our lamb ribs are ready. You can tell they're ready just by the appearance of them. The fat's gone a little bit crispy and the touch, the fat's nice and soft and the meat's no longer tight. So we're gonna chop these bad boys up now. They're great as an appetizer at a party. You can hand them round, or if you're like me, just eat the whole thing yourself.